This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive Oakland athletics.
Five on a deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Dolis Garcia sends him the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the line. Legend Cruz. Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
We ready to rock? You ready to go, Commander?
It's already been
Friday.
It's already been a very eventful day, I would say. Or am I overstating it a little bit?
All I know is this. A's won yesterday. All right? And they won for the first time in the home of the Rally Monkey. So as we like to say on the A's Clubhouse Show, this is A's Cast Live. As we like to say on the A's Clubhouse Show, suck it, Rally Monkey. I got a call last night from somebody who was at the game. And I'm thinking at some point they're going to come to their senses and realize that the Rally Monkey is something that is from the early 2000s. Now, granted, you won a World Series with the 02 team. Rally Monkey was prevalent. Disney and all that kind of stuff. Well, it wasn't yet. They sold after Disney bought after the World Series, right? Or did they own the team during the World Series? It was so long ago.
I just know the Gene Autry. I just know Gene Autry, the Cowboy.
I don't think the Cowboy owned the team at the time, but whatever. The Rally Monkey's tired. And as long as they keep touting this stupid Rally Monkey, I'm going to keep ripping them. Somebody has to be on guard for this. And so they were doing the whole Rally Monkey thing again last night. The A's are up, 9th inning, and there's the Rally Monkey. So as long as they keep doing the Rally Monkey, we're still going to have fun. This is one of the original Rally Monkeys, by the way. This right here.
That's why my wife really wants it back at some point. She knows how valuable
She's not getting it back.
She knows how valuable
She's not getting it back. It's going to be a prop on our set forever. We'll hold good care of it.
Speaking of new props.
Oh, Jose Canseco. If you guys missed out on this bobblehead is dope. This is one of the best bobbleheads I've ever seen. Does it say Jose Canseco 40-40? Got it signed from our good friend. Our good friend Jose Canseco. We have a fantastic show for you today. We've got the Kotsay show. And then we're going to double down on that. We're going more front office. You don't get to hear him a lot because he's always traveling. But if you want somebody that's got a lot of respect in this game for being a talent evaluator, and every team, everybody tells you, oh, Billy Owens is the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Billy Owens, terrific athlete in his time. A lot of people down the South Bay remember him at Bellarmine Prep as a quarterback / great baseball player. Went to the University of Arizona back when Arizona was legit in football and baseball. Played quarterback a little bit at the University of Arizona. Decided baseball was the way to go full-time. Was the first baseman for the Wildcats. By the way, the Wildcats won the very last Pac-12 tournament.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
That's right. So Billy O, director of player personnel and the assistant general manager for the Athletics, he will join us today as there is excitement. There's a lot of interesting news, and there's a lot of excitement. We got to go with the excitement first. Well, first, the medical update. Alex Wood, done for the year, shoulder surgery. Luis Medina, obviously done for the year. He's Tommy John. Now, what we will do with that, because like we asked today, hey, when did DeGrom actually have the surgery? Because if you're getting full Tommy John now, you're getting the ligament replacement and the bracket together. You're getting a 2-for-1. 14 months. They're not trying to rush. Remember back in the day, Rod Woodson came back so fast? We did a lot of work with Rod Woodson back in the day. Rod Woodson, great guy, Hall of Famer. Football, obviously, if you don't follow football, he's one of the great, he's top 5 secondary players of all time. Steelers, Niners, Rod Woodson, Ravens.
Raider.
But he did I not mention Raider?
No, said Niner.
Because I did Raider stuff with him.
Ravens. He was a great Raven.
So Rod Woodson was so fast to come back from knee surgery. Everybody wanted to prove that it was a machismo thing, right? It was the ego thing that you could come back faster than anybody else. And they realized doing that with Tommy John's surgery was stupid. It was just flat out wrong. Nope. Back it up. We're not going before 12 months. We're now looking 14 months. It's what's best for the bone, the ligament, everything, the bracket, for it to be right, 14 months. And we asked, when was DeGrom's, when's the surgery? That's the important thing.
And what I found was it looked like June 12th of last year. June
12th. So we're not into August yet. So we're not yet nearing that 14 months. And if you look at it, there's no news on DeGrom throwing.
Not that I've seen, no.
So that's what I want to know about Luis Medina. I understand you can tell me when's the surgery. Because if the surgery's like, let's say in the next couple days, we know he's not pitching next year. At least for the A's.
Unless he has some kind of miraculous recovery. Yeah, he's out for the year.
Yeah, we're not looking for that anymore. It would be like, maybe he could pitch in the postseason. No, he's not. And that's sad because he is one of the dynamic arms. So that's a little bit on the injury front. The really cool thing is, for the first time in a long time, looking at the notes every day, and I'm going to tell you, I asked Mark Kotsay today. We did Mark Kotsay like at 2 o'clock. I asked Mark Kotsay, whatever you're feeding Lawrence Butler, I want some of it. Whatever he's eating every day, whatever he's drinking, we all should be doing it. It's unbelievable. It is literally unbelievable. He ranks top 5, top 3, and even 1 or 2 in most every single offensive categories in the month of July. And he's doing it from the leadoff spot. You want batting average, RBIs, extra base hits, doubles, triples, OPS, slug. He's number 1 in slug. It's unreal. It's unreal. And Brent Rooker is right behind him. It's the 1-2 punch of 1-2 punches. And right now, everywhere you go, people keep talking about, oh, look at Rooker. Everybody now wants to trade for, everybody in the media wants to trade for Brent Rooker. But as you start to see, and I found Dan O'Dowd's graphic from last year, I'm like, I couldn't find it looking at I got so many notes that I keep throughout these baseball seasons that I couldn't find it. And I remember I took a picture of it with my phone, found it for the Commander. We'll get it to you on what trading for prospects has been like in a 10-year span. It's a large amount of prospects, and how many guys ever mount to anything. Because if you listened to us last night on the Clubhouse Show, Randy Arozarena, one of the great names in baseball, is traded to the Seattle Mariners. A.J. Puck has been traded to the D-backs. The Big Maple, James Paxton, he was dumped by the Dodgers, but now traded for. Red Sox really making a run at it. Yeah. Boy, they're all in. Yeah. They are all in.
The Orioles went out and got the frontline starting pitcher that we all thought they were going to go get. They went and got, not Tarek Skubal. They went and got Zach Eflin.
Not Jack Flaherty?
Not Jack Flaherty.
So Eflin's been struggling in Tampa. He makes some coin. They want to get rid of that.
And the Mariners made another move. The Mariners really strapped for offense.
Woo.
Need another player on.
Yes.
Need another position player.
Get a big bat.
They made a big trade with the Blue Jays today for Yimi Garcia, the middle reliever.
Yeah. I told you. And it's funny. It kind of reminds me what we're doing in baseball kind of reminds me of politics. Like if you watch politics at all, that, as I mention all the time, there's a narrative, right? And everybody picks up on it. And everybody just keeps force feeding you the same thing. And they're just hoping that everybody will be, the talking points. the certain parties, the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, they have talking points, and they're hoping their side of the media, or they know their side of the media, will just pick it up and go with it. Like baseball's doing the same thing. The trading deadline, Greg Amsinger, they're running and we love all the guys at MLB Network, but they're running a thing on MLB Network right now where it's Greg Amsinger with Dan Plesac. He's like, best time of the year, the trading deadline. And I'm like, best time of the year.
We did forget it.
Out of all the 365 days out of the year, everything that happens in the world and in baseball, the trading deadline is the best time. Forget the World Series. Forget the start of the year. Forget the winter meetings, right? All the fun.
Hall of Fame weekend.
This is the time because when AJ Puck gets traded, that's when I get fired up for baseball.
We're forgetting another former A got traded today. The Orioles swung a big deal. They got Sir Anthony Dominguez and Christian Pache from the Phillies for Austin Hayes. Ace killer Austin Hayes.
Christian Pache went to the Orioles?
Orioles, yeah. Reunited with Jorge Mateo. Well, they've never been together.
He just got hurt, yeah. What's Pache going to do on the Orioles?
Defensive replacement? I don't know. They already have Mullins.
Are they going to send him down?
Santander.
Yeah, there's no
defensive
room.
Replacement. Unless they got Kershed, they got Mayo coming up.
That is a depth move, yeah. So I remember saying a long time ago when we got J.J. Bleday, and I was like, I love this trade. I just love the trade originally. I mean, it looks great now, but I love the trade. Remember we had J.J. Bleday from his couch in Florida, and he's like this. And he's talking to us for the first time. You're like, this is cool breeze, man. He's cool breeze. But I'm like, you're getting a guy who was picked 4th overall for a guy that we know will never be a starter. I mean, Bob Melvin was worried to death that he's going to be, and we used to not say this to you because, sometimes when the skipper, whether it's old Bullmel or Mark Kotsay, they say stuff to us in private, we don't bring it out to you. But old Bullmel was afraid that AJ Puck was just going to be a career rehab guy. And I remember when the trade was made, I'm like, hey, you know what? I root for AJ Puck. He was a good dude. AJ Puck, though, will be a reliever. And AJ Puck will be a guy who plays if he plays long enough, will play for like 5, 6, 7 teams. I remember saying that. Now it's team number 3.
As a starter, he was 0-4 with a 9.22 ERA this year.
That's not who he is.
Yeah. As a reliever, though.
Yeah.
4-4 with a 2.08 ERA in 30 in the third innings and 33 strikes.
Is it like 15 straight?
Yeah.
Something scoreless. Yeah. Is it innings or appearances or something? It's 15. I saw it on something.
I have it. Hold on.
But that's what he's going to be.
15 consecutive scoreless innings for AJ Puck.
Okay, so it's 15 scoreless innings. So AJ Puck is now going to be a D-back. And then he'll end up being a Twin. And then he'll be a Royal. And then he'll maybe be an A again. And, by the end of if you pitch long enough and you become this guy and you have value, you'll pitch for a lot of different teams. So good luck to AJ Puck. But it just goes to show that was a savvy move to get an everyday center fielder with all the extra base hits, tied for the lead in the American League in doubles versus a guy who's a reliever. That was out of all the deals we've talked recently, the A's have lost. That is a deal the A's have won.
Yes. I was mentioning to because my friends I was telling you earlier, my friends in Pittsburgh are all fired up about the moves the Pirates are going to make the deadline. I'm like, they're not going to trade for anyone. They don't want to give up prospects.
Dude, if you're going to go Greg Amsinger, this is the best time of the year, the trading deadline, because Randy Arozarena hitting 212 got dealt. I mean, watching people try and sell the deadline right now, even our buddy Brian Kinney on MLB Now today, trying to sell Randy Arozarena in 2020. Get the cardboard cutout. They're showing highlights of Randy Arozarena back when we had these going in the stands. Doesn't that seem like a long time ago?
I'm trying not to I'm just trying to tell it's just you here, not my face.
Get rid of that. Seriously. That's how long ago it was. And you're selling Randy Arozarena. Now, you already know one thing. It's hard to hit in Seattle. Because the sides are open. Everybody loves the ballpark, and the sides are open. Guess what? It's cold. You've been there. I've been there many times. It's cold. Ball does not fly. People don't like hitting there. So good luck. But when if anybody, the big deals, if we're all going to say, I'm not sitting around, by the way, trading deadline is what, Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
I'm not going to be sitting, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go play golf and enjoy my day off on Monday, and I'm not going to sit there and worry. I'll be watching Olympics if I'm watching anything. I'm not going to be watching the trading deadline because nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
The number 12, you gave me your 12 and your 25th ranked prospect. Like what?
Well, yeah, we were talking about the Eflin deal, and the Orioles gave up number 10, 19, and an unranked kid to get Eflin. So like I was telling you, my friends back in Pittsburgh were talking about the guys they want. And I mentioned, like, they were like, well, what about Rooker? And I'm like, I just don't think we're going to move Rooker. And they're like, well, why not? I'm like, well, I explained why. And they're like, then I was like, well, where would you put him? They're like, well, we don't know because he can't play the field. I'm like, technically, yes, he can. He's just not right now because he's an arm issue. But he could play right
Which
field.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Rooker may be. I mean, right now, defensive, even though Andujar didn't look great yesterday in left field.
Yeah. He still did throw someone out. He threw the guy a third, though.
The outfield is pretty much set. And Rooker in the, let's see. In 19 games in July, Rooker's hitting .397, 9 home runs. He scored 20 runs.
Even has a couple.
And he's got a 1,329 OPS. I think he's doing fine at DH. He's pretty comfortable.
And both of them said, well, what about the DH that we have now? Love Andrew McCutchen. Greatest Pirates player of my lifetime.
Wait, that we would want Andrew?
No. I'm saying what that means McCutchen won't play. He's hitting .220 with a 716 OPS. You wouldn't want, if you're a team trading for someone like Rooker, you wouldn't put him in the DH and say, hey, Kutch, we'll platoon you. That's your argument. We don't want to take him out of the lineup.
So you think your buddies are idiots. So then you have every single town that's a buyer has idiots like your buddy, like your buddies.
Buddy Singh, one of them's a college friend.
Think about that. Everybody who's a buyer, and there's way more buyers than sellers, has these idiots who, well, if we go get this guy, well, Scooble. And it's like, you're not getting these guys.
Well, and the thing is, too, that
you're not getting these guys.
Well, we don't want to give up any of our top. Well, of course not. Nobody wants to give up their top guys.
Everybody wants to give up their 12th guy.
When I explained it to him, I put it the best way. I'm like, Jesus Luzardo is regarded as being one of the best young left-handed pitching prospects in baseball. We traded him for Starling Marte. We got him for a few months. Marte was great. Everyone thought Luzardo was going to be a star. And I'm like, how's that worked out? Luzardo hasn't stayed healthy. He was okay last year. He's hurt. He's been hurt all of this year. So the A's went for it. Got a guy for a few months. Didn't make it to the postseason, but Marte was great. And Luzardo hasn't been that's
not even apples to apples because Luzardo was in the rotation in the major leagues.
Yeah.
These front offices only want to give up rando prospect who's ranked not in the top. David Force told us, listen, top 8.
Yeah.
Essentially, you go into these discussions and the top 8 prospects, each organization, unless you were dealing with AJ Preller back in the day, they're frozen. So you know what? This is going to be super cheesy. But you know what your buddies and everybody else needs to? Let it go.
Oh, God.
Let it go. I told you it was bad.
Well, now people have that song stuck in their head.
I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold doesn't bother me anyway. Yeah, I own all the Disney movies. You want to go Snow White? I once took a Disney princess quiz, and I got like 98% right.
I'm surprised you missed.
I'm surprised I missed any, too. I own all of them, and I've watched them all 8,000 times. It's been a while because now the kids grow up and they don't care. Daughter's off to cheerleading camp today. Anybody who's followed my career and you know about my kids, they're now going to college. My daughter's going to be a Cal cheerleader. Yeah, cheer camp. Wife was crying today. I'm like, she's going to be gone for a couple days. It's what's going to happen. Yeah, that's going to be my life. Got to let it go. Let it go.
Well, there was no one home now. It's just you and I hang out. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's what you can get used to.
It's my new buddy. It's me, Cody, and the dog at my house now. It's awesome. We're going to be lounging around, watching baseball all day long. Okay, so we could look stupid. The A's could end up trading everybody, and we look bad. I just don't think it's going to. I mean, David Force has been pretty honest with us the whole time. Just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think any of these people are going to go. Rooker's been red hot. Butler's been red hot. A's right now lead baseball in both home runs and runs per game at 6.8. We can't tell you what to bet because that's illegal. I can just say, if you were somebody that had been betting the over and unders, I bet at the start of July, you killed it with the A's. Because remember, we were talking about how many times the A's, if they don't hit a home run, they can't score. How many times they score 2 runs or less in a game. So the bookmakers have to go on that. All of a sudden, July hits. Now the A's are averaging 6.8. The other team scores 2. I mean, they must be – I don't follow that. I probably can't do that till 2028. But I would say that the overs have to be just killing it right now.
Well, yeah, when you're averaging almost 7 runs a game just on your offensive side alone. Still was 11 runs last night between both teams.
Yeah.
Which was great to see the A's fall down. I mean, to see them bat up, it would have sounded bad. It was great to see them fall behind early, but fall behind early and make their way back and end up winning the game 6-5. That was good to see. And
it shows they have a chin, right? Like they scored the 2 runs. Butler starts the game off like it's Ricky Henderson, right? Double, stolen base, air on the stolen base. He scores. It's like a Ricky run. It's now the Butler did it.
We were talking about this, how we should address everything.
So in everybody else's game notes on the front page, they do these cute little things, and they'll have like, if it was Lawrence Butler, they'd have like all of his rankings and everything he's done, everything he's doing. I think, what did I say earlier? Like what did I say?
You said something that I said something.
Butler is served or something like that. And then you went,
the Butler did it.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be something like that. I mean,
or Law and Order.
Can't make it up.
I mean, this is why you pay me the big bucks to do this.
I mean, call Mike Selleck. We got ideas for the game notes. But this is fun, man. This is a lot of fun to watch what they're doing, to watch them. I mean, they're up 2-0. Then they give up a 5 spot. Normally that's game over. I get mad. I stop, and I shouldn't get mad, but I do. I stop keeping score. No, they came back. It's like they came out, boom. If this was a fight, they came out, wham. They nailed the Angels. Angels wobbled a little bit. Then the Angels came out in the next round, whack, whack, whack. Knocked the A's to the canvas. It's 5-0. And the A's, they got back to the corner, cut me, Mick, and went back out there and won the fight. I mean, this is a team showing grit. This is a different team. And so with that, the more you win, the more people are going to pay attention to why arguably the best pitcher is being sent down to AAA. Paul Blackburn's being reinstated. Hogan Harris is going to AAA. I would normally have asked Mark Kotsay about it, but we did Mark Kotsay at 2:00. We didn't know. So we're waiting to find out. Mark Kotsay will talk to the media at 4:50. Why Hogan Harris? I mean, obviously, rosters, somebody's got to go down. Hogan Harris just was money against the Astros.
6 2/3 scoreless.
6-2. That's one of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah, and his ERA is under 3. It's 2.98.
I mean, we keep preaching. We want to win. We want to win. We want to win. Well, you want to win, and this guy, you're trying to win, develop, same time, and this kid's lights out. I mean, he is showing you legit. There are times you look at Hogan Harris and you go, "Wow." Now,
and he's yours.
If I have to hear, well, he's getting lucky. You know what? You guys all need to stay off Baseball Savant and need to stay off all your little baseball references. Does a guy get outs or not? Everybody's trying to predict the future. You want to predict the future? Let's go to Vegas.
Oh, I didn't look. You know what? I'm going to look.
You know your friends who think they can predict the future? Tell them to take $10,000 out and let's see how much they can predict the future in any sport.
I'm curious now because you said Baseball Savant. I'm like, you know what? Let's see what Hogan Harris's xERA is.
What's the BABIP against him?
Let's see. Expected.
The expected batting average against him. What is it?
The expected batting average is 280.
What is the batting average?
I have to find it. That was just on the expected page. I'll find it.
Anyway, so we want to know why. Do you want to go? I thought it was hilarious the other day in we have 2 broadcasts. We have a television broadcast and we have a radio broadcast. The radio broadcast called him Buddo. The TV broadcast called him Beto. After the game, Vince Cotroneo interviewed Lawrence Butler, Vince Cotroneo called him Badeau, and then the question was asked about Badeau, and Lawrence Butler answered the question talking about Beto. So I don't know. Are we going Badeau or Beto? What are we going on? What did they call him in Pittsburgh?
I thought it was Beto.
Okay, so Beto. I'm assuming what? He moves into the bullpen and Mitch Spence, because you're not going to take Mitch Spence out of the rotation. And then why is Hogan Harris going down? What's his record right now?
He's 2-3 with a 2.98 ERA and 9 starts.
You just sent a guy down that has an ERA under 3. And how old is he? And you drafted him in what, the 3rd round?
3rd round, I think he's 20. What is he, 27? He's 27 years old.
He's 27. You're looking for the future. He's got an ERA under 3, and you send him down. Why?
When we saw it, I'm like, we're sitting there, and I looked at you, and I said, this doesn't make sense. And I was like Blackburn's back, and I was like, the guy we sent down, and you started naming off all these guys, and I was like, no, Hogan Harris.
Doesn't make sense.
Looks like the batting average against him is.
But you know what? I know Johnny. We talked with the great Johnny Dosco, and Johnny's going to ask, like, is this because we do have these days off coming up? You got Monday off, we got the 1st, and we got the 8th. We actually have for us in baseball, that just seems like a vacation. We got a few days. You know, is that what it is? Like, there's got to be some rhyme or reason, or is this just going to be, well, Ross Stripling's getting paid a lot of money, and he's a veteran guy, and we're not going to eat the money.
Yeah, we've seen them eat a lot of money already this year with a let miss.
What if Alex Wood didn't have shoulder surgery and he was coming back?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna do that?
But yeah, it looks like the batting average against for Hogan Harris is 2 as a starter is what I say was 255, I think, and then his expected batting average against is 280.
So what's the batting average?
255, I believe,
but the expected
is 280.
Well, that's great.
His ERA is 2.98. What do you think his expected ERA?
I expect to go out and shoot 75 when I play golf. When I'm at the range and I'm striping it.
263, my bad. 263 is the batting average against.
So, Cody, I expect to shoot 75 every time. I feel great on the range. I mean, I'm moving the ball around. I'm hitting bombs with my driver.
What are you, Korak?
Do you think I shoot 75 every time I go out?
No.
But I expect to.
Yeah.
And on the range, it looks like it. Put me on TrackMan, looks pretty damn good. But all of a sudden, the round starts like the game, and then stuff happens, right? Sometimes you're better. You may expect me to shoot 82, but I shot 78. The expected stuff, do you think it's going to play out? I mean, reality is the only thing that matters is today. What happens today? July 26th. And for starters, it's your next start. That's the only thing that matters. I mean, our sport is so hard to predict the future. I mean, how many more guys you want to give $100, $200, $300 million contracts to, and it's garbage, right? Isn't that the ultimate? We expect what we think a guy is going to be, and we're going to invest guaranteed, life-changing, generational money. That's the real. And how many guys you go, man, that was a bad deal. I wish we could take that back.
Well, we're watching one of them tonight in Anaheim.
Oh, Rendon? They didn't sign Rendon to not hit and not play, and when he does, to bat lead off.
I watch him play, and I'm like, I don't feel any sense of excitement.
What happened to this guy?
Well, he's hitting.
Ohtani Juan Kenobi. Remember that guy?
He's hitting a lot of solo home runs for the Dodgers.
The other one is, I don't know what to make of it yet. Because when news comes out on the road, I'll tell you who came out really good yesterday was Mark Kotsay talking about Mason Miller. And Mark Kotsay basically said the same thing that was said to us last year by the general manager, David Forst. Because I asked David last year on the general manager show about, dealing with the media. Because I can't remember. There was essentially somebody who was in charge of a Major League Baseball team. Oh, I think it was it Jerry DePote? Somebody got caught lying, and it looked really bad. It was last year. And I asked David before, is it cool if I ask you about this? Yeah, cool. You can ask me anything. David has never told me I can't ask about something, by the way. Billy Bean didn't either. I've had to deal. I had to do, what's his name? The old 40. Trent Baalke. I used to have to do
Jags GM Trent Baalke.
I used to have to do the Trent Baalke show.
You got to Google it.
Guys, I can't talk about that. Then why are we paying you to be on? Trent Baalke, there was always things like, do not ask about this, do not ask about that. So I've had to do executive show. Bob Myers, I used to do a lot of Bob Myers back in the day on 95.7. He was great. But there's certain executives that do not want you to ask stuff. I can just tell you right now that David Force has never said, don't ask me X or Y or Z. He's never done that. But I did ask about whoever got caught last year lying. I asked him about it, and he goes, I have a policy, I don't lie. Because as long as I don't lie, I know it can never come back to haunt me. If I start telling multiple stories, you gotta make sure you're always covering your back. And I don't want to do that. Mark Kotsay said the same thing yesterday about Mason Miller. How we do things here in this organization is to tell the truth. Mark Kotsay's coming up here, and he's going to say the same thing. Because I asked him about it, because I had to. It's my job. Mason Miller, on the other hand, we have not heard from. A little disappointing. It's a little bit of as they like to say, welcome to the big leagues. When your representatives say something, you have to remember they work for you. I'll just give you an example. I have had agents before, don't have an agent anymore, don't need one, but I've had agents in the past. And that agent works for me, not for the radio station or let's say the team. Let's say the team is the A's. I work for the A's now. If my representatives said something that was not factually correct, it is not the A's job, who's my employer, to clean up that mess. It is my job as the employee of the A's to clean up that mess because the agency works for me. I pay them to represent me. It's Mason Miller's job. And unfortunately, like Martin Gallegos is not there. So maybe there's not, but it's really Mason Miller's job to come out and say, the right hand or the left hand somehow awkwardly went on the training table, and that's how he broke it, was how they were trying to spin it, I guess. And I know tweets have been taken down and all that kind of stuff. But if your manager comes out and goes, no, that's not what happened, this is exactly what happened, Mason Miller's got to own that. And it's not a big deal, really. I mean, it's a big deal when he breaks his hand. Can you imagine if this was in a major media market? If this is New York, Boston, Philly, whatever, and your all-star great closer, this epic closer, breaks his hand and can't pitch when you got to win games and win a division and everything? You think that guy would just vanish?
No, absolutely not.
No, Mason. This is professional sports. And you're at the highest level, and all you need to do is come out and say, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I got to be smarter than that. I'm sorry. I'm going to learn from it. Done. And then it's done. But what do we have? We have Mark Kotsay talking about it yesterday, and he's going to talk about it today, but we haven't heard from Mason Miller. And it's Mason Miller who broke his hand or his pinky and now cannot pitch. And that's his job. How does Mason feel about it? Mason needs to say my representatives misspoke, which is okay. But just you need to own it. That's your job. You're the one who punched the table. You're the one that can't play. But the way our organization is being covered right now, this probably isn't going to be a big deal. It's going to be blown over. No one's going to care. He'll come back. But in future reference, you know, you want to be a star, you're going to be going to the All-Star game, hopefully going to be pitching the playoffs for the A's, and this thing starts to ramp up and it gets bigger and new ballpark and all that kind of stuff. This does not fly. It will not fly at all. Kind of like a learning for all the young guys. Hey, you're getting some shine, bro. Lawrence Butler, Geloff last year, Mason Miller. You guys are getting a little love, but if there's going to be, and we're all human beings, we all make mistakes. If you make mistakes and you just run from them and hide and you don't say anything, it can really backfire on you real quick. The best way to deal with everything in our business is to get in front of it. Because we are the most forgiving people. Like Mark McGuire to this day can be mad at Jose Canseco. I get it. He can be mad. But the reality was, Big Mac, you were lying. You were lying. And then you had to go on with Bob Costas to say sorry so Tony La Russa could bring you in as a hitting coach. You've said it here. You have the Big Mac shirt on.
I do, yeah.
You said, and you were right, one of the best interviews we've ever had on this program is when Mark McGuire was coming on this show to talk about going into the A's Hall of Fame. It was awesome. And he talked about people to this day still show up or still talk to him and thank him for saving baseball. I mean, that was some of the greatest entertainment I've ever seen in my life. It was unbelievable. And the whole thing, though, if he just would have got ahead of it. We're getting texted by our own people. What are they texting us? Karate Kid Ray.
Oh, let's see. Hold on.
Oh, Jessica Kleinschmidt has texted us.
Oh, no. Well, we play the Mets. We can talk to him again.
One of our all-time speaking of if you're a good reliever, I said AJ Puck, look at the different teams you'll be on. One of our all-time favorites, the Arkansas Razorback, the flowing hair, the man that we will always know as the opener in the history of baseball. In the timeline of baseball, Ryan Stanek and that gorgeous hair will always be remembered as the opener. Someday, years from now, when they'll say, in baseball, they had this strategy called the opener. He's the guy. Yeah. He wasn't the first at Sergio Romo. Well, there's always been.
Romo was the first one.
The first official, but there have been relievers who started games in the past history of baseball. But the real first opener where we said this guy's role as the opener is the great Ryan Stanek, front of the program. We've had him on a lot.
We had him on this year.
He's been traded to the Mets.
We don't know for what. By the way, I'm sure you're going to get a call later from George in San Francisco. Fuji was DFA'd by the Mets. So I'm sure you're going to get a call from him later.
He's available. He wanted to trade for him last night.
Paging Dr. Emo. Towny.
Hey, I thought the Mets had Edwin Diaz. What do they need Ryan Stanek for?
They need a setup guy. My hot take's already done with Diaz, so I don't care now.
Towny.
Karate Kid Ray, you got our guy, Ryan Stanek. So Ryan Stanek moving. Yeah, these major deals in baseball.
Till it comes out, it's Stanek
best time of the year, according to Greg Amsinger of MLB.
I want to know who it is. Who's he getting back? Are the Mariners getting back Pete Alonso?
No. The Mariners are getting back the 24th prospect
and Fuji
and a player to be named. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, it doesn't say who they got yet. I'll grind X to see who it is. That just sounds weird saying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to take that back.
No, that's what the social media site's called. Now it's called X. I stand by
true.
it.
That's
I stand by it.
And you didn't do anything that was against FCC rules, and we're not even governed by the FCC because we're streaming. We really could be throwing out F-bombs here. And everybody does it on their different shows.
Yeah.
We're a family show, so we don't do that.
Yeah, like when we talked about Cal Quantrill, I said we didn't say what it was. We just said we're a family show.
Still, if you haven't followed up on what we told you about Cal Quantrill, it is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Red Sox controversy, dust, a little flare up there at Coors Field. Research it. It is really funny. That's it on Mason Miller. I mean, I'd just like to hear him come out and talk about it and clean it up. It's your career. You did it. You created this. Now just clean it up and we all move on. But if you don't, then what? Team, where do we go after this?
San Francisco.
Oh, so it's back. It's a home. Oh, God, we won't be there.
Nope. So we're not home. We play the Dodgers next Friday at home.
Oh, darn it. We don't have to go to San Francisco? Oh,
shucks.
Sucks. God, that really is. I got to go there tomorrow night to do A's pre- and post-game live.
Wait, hold on. How many of those guys will still even be on the Giants?
Oh, the Sellers? Farhan, the Wheeler and Dealer? I thought they were trying to win a World Series.
I kept telling my friends keep saying they're going to buy. And if they are going to trade, they're going to trade Conforto and Flores for Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Oh, yeah. They're always trading for the biggest hitters, aren't they? How's Aaron Judge doing as a Giant?
Correa? How's Bryce Harper?
Oh, yeah. They love
Towny? First or second time?
I mean, would somebody really trade for Blake Snell right now?
Yes. Just because.
Okay, let me change the question then, because you answered that really fast. Would you trade a high prospect for Blake Snell?
No.
Hey, what are you talking about? You're getting the National League Cy Young Award winner from last year. They said it's a favorable deal. You got him for next year, unless he opts out. Would you trade for Blake Snell, knowing that he can opt out? Wow, you're not yet. It's not yes now.
Because I know how the sport works. They're
Did
not going to give up a top prospect.
All I did was change the parameters a little bit, just a little.
Like again, I had this conversation with my Pirate friends, and I was like, "What about Yandy Diaz? Would you take him?" No, he doesn't really fill a void for us. I'm like, he won the batting title last year in the American League, and he'd be the best hitter on that lineup. No, he does. They need a right fielder. It doesn't matter where he plays. Put him in the lineup; they'll score runs.
Don't you want the best possible players?
Yes. Sorry, Rowdy Tellez, but
so now the Pirate fans are now picky and choosy.
Yes,
we got Joey Bart now.
Well, he's actually been one of their better hitters.
Rowdy Tellez, he's a little rowdy for me. He went in the Allegheny the other day.
He has been a lot better. Yes. It's been a really weird day dealing with all those Pirate hacks.
The fact that we even got to listen to you talk about your Pirate hack friends.
Well, ties in it just brings up a great point about how people think about the trade deadline now. They don't want to give up anything, but they want all these guys.
Is it weird that people who don't know who these prospects are, other than reading about them on prospect list, reading scouting reports that someone else put out there, and yet you're so guarded of something that you don't technically own?
That's how it's been. It's even getting even worse. Speaking of prospects,
isn't that weird that people will sit here? Oh, we can't give up any of those guys. Like, how do you know? Bring up the Dan O'Dowd.
Okay.
This is a great example of how moronic Cody's friends are and everybody else. I saved this. This is from last year. Dan O'Dowd, love him to death, former GM of the Rockies. He was a part of that great front office with John Hart that created those Indian teams back in the day as they built a powerhouse going into Jacobs Field. It really is the model that we should be following and everybody should be following going into a new ballpark. And that Indians team was loaded, and they were for years. They had the legit sellout streak. They set that record. It was legit. They actually had butts in the seats. 500
something? Or?
It was a lot back then. It was a great run. They lost 2 World Series, but all the Hall of Famers, great players. So a lot of respect, and we love having them on this program. Look at the bottom ticker, by the way. You know it's from last year.
Whoa. Michael Lorenzen, is going to the Phillies.
Phillies acquire. Okay, so here you go. He went back 2013 to 2022. You see it on the screen. If you're listening to us on AceCast, I'll explain. So it says trade deadline deals from 2013 to 2022. Prospects that were traded in that time frame was 573. Prospects to become impact players. So for you out there listening, it says 17, which is 3%. Impact players, because I remember this segment, were guys that went on to have careers. like real careers. They played.
As it's still from Dan O'Dowd, were they aircraft carriers?
They weren't aircraft carriers. Some could have been aircraft carriers, but it's like you traded for a guy and he turned out to be a really good player for you. That's an impact player. So out of 573 guys, they determined only 17. That's 3%. So for everybody that wants to hold on to prospects and for everybody who wants to acquire prospects, this counts on both sides of the deal. For you people who love prospects and for you people who never want to get rid of them or you want to acquire them, you're basically you're shopping human beings and the majority of them won't be any good. But the fact that you don't know who they are, you really haven't seen them play, you overvalue them. So then the next level, and once again, I'm doing this for everybody who's just listening, prospects to become impact or really contributors. So a contributor, guy shows up, guy played a little bit, guy helped out a little bit. That's 62 of the 573 from 2013 to 2022. 10.8%. We can't even get out of that 573 prospects. You can't even get 11% of guys that were either impact or contributors. That is such a low mark. So when you say, oh my God, look at the A's, they made these trades, they didn't get anything. Well, duh, look at the numbers. And now when you look at Randy Arozarena, and he's traded for the 12th and the whatever, and those guys may now, will they amount to a contributor or an impact player? And if they don't, we'll go, duh, look at the numbers, the percentages. How many people who play our game ever become legit players? It's a very, very small percentage. But yet we're acting like, well, if we trade this one guy and we get 4 of these nobodies, and yeah, you're a nobody, you're a minor leaguer. You've done nothing at the highest level. That 4 of these guys, 3 of them, 2 of them, 1 of them will amount to something. There's no guarantees. And according to that graphic, most of them don't. And you know what? How many of those trades, how many times do you look at these trades and you go, man, you really killed that trade? How many?
Not a lot.
I mean, there are some, but the most of them you go, hey, remember they traded this guy for this haul. What happened?
Yeah, well, speaking of the hauls, I'm looking right now. Ryan Stanek was traded for the 30th prospect in the Mets system.
Who's that?
What is his name? Rylan Thomas. Rylan, he's an outfielder.
So he'll go into the Mariners system. We'll see him at spring training. By the time we hit spring training, we will have forgot who he is. Maybe you won't. I will have forgotten who he is.
What do you mean he's going to make an impact this year for the Mariners?
And then all of a sudden, like a couple of years later, you'll be like, hey, what happened to that guy that, oh, he's not in baseball anymore?
Well, he's from the University of Southern California.
He's a Trojan.
He's 24 years old.
Uh-huh.
And where was it? See the highest level he's playing? He was playing at AAA. He played between double and AAA. He played 49 games so far in AAA, hitting 235.
Does that fire you up? I mean, for Ryan, if
Stanek's, well, he's going from a team in the playoff race to another team in the playoff race.
What does that move really do for the Mariners?
Well, they just acquired Yimi Garcia, so there's the guy that he'll essentially take over Stanek's spot in the bullpen. Stanek was like the late inning guy before Munoz. Yeah. So you move Stanek.
Maybe you need offense.
Maybe they're brewing another big trade.
You need offense.
Maybe they're going to go out and get Jesse Winker, bring him back.
Yeah, can you imagine that if you're trying to sell that to your fan base? Hey, Jesse Winker, 30 years old.
Lane Thomas.
I like Jesse Winker. He's having
a decent year.
He's having a decent year.
The other guy would be like Lane Thomas. I like him. He's been pretty good the last couple of years for the Nats. But if you're the Mariners and your offense stinks, and the only team you score more runs is the White Sox.
To be honest with you, the more we talk about Brent Rooker looks like Babe Ruth to a lot of these people.
Jim Bowden this morning with Farron, he was co-hosting on Power Alley, kept saying, if I keep hearing the Mariners are texting David Forrest every hour they're texting David Forrest about Rooker.
No, they're not.
That's what Bowden, on the award-winning front
No,
office
they're
show.
not. No, they're not.
So as I said back this morning in our text chain, the
Yeah.
award-winning Ace Cast Live because
Stop. Like that, I'll just say it now. It would be such a disappointment if we heard that Brent Rooker was traded for the 10th, the 19th, and the 26th prospect. It'd just be like, oh, God. Because Brent Rooker is a guy that, I mean, if you're ever going to move him, I guess it would be now. But you don't have to move him.
remember before when everyone was talking about how JJ Bleday be a guy that people would be interested in. You know when he's
My God.
you know when he's a free agent? 2029.
Yeah, come on. Come on. Like if you're getting, once again, if somebody comes in with amazing deals to David Force for some of the players, I get it. Then yeah, you have to make the deal.
Look, if the Orioles are offering Jackson Holiday for Brent
I'm
Rooker,
in.
yeah,
I'm in.
it
If
has
you're
to start.
offering
With,
your
it has to
best-
start with Holiday.
Yeah, if you're offering the goods, here you go. Let's make a deal.
Not hey, we're going to give you our 16th, 29th, 30th, and we'll throw in Pache back to you.
Because I'm not going to be like, hey, this kid in Peoria was doing real well for the Mariners. I'm not selling that. Yeah. You bring Jackson Holiday, I'm like, yeah. You want Mason Miller? Here you go. I'll take Holiday right now. We'll figure it out at shortstop. Jacob Wilson, we'll figure it out. Give me hitters. Give me legit guys. We'll figure it out.
His brother's in the draft next year.
Another Holiday?
Ethan Holiday, yeah.
I would take Jackson Holiday. We'll figure it. You know, Geloff, you're going back to third. Jacob Wilson, you're playing second. We'd figure it out. But I'd do that deal. Like, that is what I'm talking about. If you're talking, and that is, and here is the legitimate deal. If you have to trade somebody, you're screwed. If they know, if the sharks out there swimming around know that you got to put that pole in the water because you got to get rid of salary, or you got essentially Matt Chapman, Chris Bassett, Matt Olson, they knew we had to trade him. Right? They knew it. So you know what? I'm a GM. You know what, David? I'm not, our top 8 prospects, that's frozen. But, tell me what you like from 10 on. That's what you're going to get. People knew Pache couldn't hit. He couldn't hit in the Brave system. He's just a great athlete. You're hoping Langoliers, now Joey Estes. But you can't demand, if they know your owner is telling you got to move guys, why would I give you my best prospects when I don't have to? You're being forced to trade. You're desperate. I know you're desperate. It's business. It's negotiations. If somebody is bankrupt, if somebody has no money and they have to sell their house, are you going to give them top dollar for the house?
No. No, I will not.
Unbelievable. Nobody asked Mark Kotsay why Hogan Harris went down. I just got the text. Guy just threw 6 2/3 score. Guy went into the 7th inning against the Astros. 6 2/3 scoreless, and he just got sent down, and nobody asked.
Well, nothing we can do about it now.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Can't find that golf ball. I guess I'll just drop here in the fairway. What? Nobody asked?
Very interesting.
What are we asking? Hey, Alex Wood. What?
I was like, I got to find the guy that was filling in for Martine. I forget his name.
He's an MLB.
There he is. Let's see if he said anything. Sunday starters now TBD, depending on how the next few days go. And
Kotsay said yesterday he saw Hogan Harris starting on Sunday.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing he tweeted about from it. So, all right, well, that was a letdown.
Oh my God, where has journalism gone? Where has journalism gone?
We should start asking to Zoom us in.
Simple question. Hey, Hogan Harris has done so well. Why? But Why was there a decision to send him down? I mean, is it that tough? I mean, you're not going to make him mad. He didn't make the decision. Front office is making a decision. There's got to be a reason why. I'm hoping Johnny will have a conversation with him because play-by-play guys don't ask questions normally in the scrum. They'll talk to the manager after, hey, Mark, can I ask you a question? So hopefully Johnny will ask him, and maybe he'll say, well, with 3 days off coming up and blah, 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 move this guy here, move that, and we don't want Hogan not to throw, right? Like, I'm coming up with an excuse, and if I can come up with an excuse, I've never been in the front office, even though my press pass says I am.
Does that mean that Hogan will start Sunday in Vegas? Because remember, they have Mondays off too.
Can you imagine if he doesn't? Now he's not even on turn.
Should we send a text to Fran? Fran, is he starting Sunday?
Is this some scandalous thing? I mean, what the hell's going on? Why is Hogan Harris going to the minor leagues? I mean, there could be the most logical. We have Monday off. I mean, just look at the dates, right?
We're off Monday and we're off Thursday.
And then off the 8th, and I don't know how they would even. That's kind of too far away, right? But yeah, you got Monday and Thursday off. The way it's going to work, I mean, I would understand that. And you want to make sure he gets in, and then I'd be like, okay, then why him and not somebody else? You can't send Spence down. He's a Rule 5 guy. Beto.
He has options.
He's been down once already.
He still has options.
Right? He can go down 5 times in a year.
Yes. Otanez has options still.
That's not apples to apples because that's a reliever. You're not going to, you don't want to turn Hogan Harris into a reliever.
No.
So we've got Monday off.
Thursday.
We've got Monday off. We got Thursday off.
And then not till the following Thursday, right?
Yeah. So you're thinking you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 games in 7 days. So that's got to play into it, I'm thinking. But I don't know. Nobody asked the manager why a guy who's got an ERA under 3 is being sent down. And if you take some of his bad starts away, wow. And we didn't ask Mark Kotsay about it because we have to interview him way early. It was at 2:00 today.
It's almost 3 hours ago.
That move hadn't been made yet.
Yeah, we'd have found
so we didn't even know to ask because he said the day before he was pitching on Sunday. How would we know? Odd. I can't believe it didn't get asked.
You know what? I can.
All righty.
I'm just taking the contrarian approach here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm fine with that. Who do we got next?
Billy O.
We
got some good player comps in this conversation.
I want a lot to be positive, though, because right now the record in July speaks for itself. A's are playing way better baseball, lead the big leagues in dingers in July, runs per game. I mean, come on. Brent Rooker is hitting .397 with a 1329 OPS, 9 dingers, 20 runs in 19 games in July. Lawrence Butler is hitting Jesus, man. I got to hold on. So Lawrence Butler is hitting .469 with a 1629 OPS in the last 13 games. Over 1,600 OPS.
I think for the month it's 13 or 14.
Like back in the day, he's got like a perfect SAT score.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? That's 15 extra base hits, 7 dingers, 22 RBIs in the last 13 games. He leads baseball in RBIs in July. That's incredible.
Safe to say, I think he might be player of the month in July.
Who would beat him out?
Rooker,
Brent Doyle of your Colorado Rockies.
That's NL, though.
I see here is at 24. Rooker's at 23.
Doyle's been great in fantasy.
I'm good. I'm happy for you.
Stills bags.
I'm happy for you.
Different league.
Rock pile.
Rocktober.
Rocktober, as they called it in 2007. Butler's leading the league in RBIs, and Rooker's third in the month of July. There's a lot of good. Just have some questions. Haven't heard from Mason Miller, and why is Hogan Harris going down? That's it. We're not trying to be Columbo here. We're not trying to be Kojak. Those are old detective show references by that. Is there any new detective shows I could reference? I'm not trying to be Magnum PI. That's not new.
New detective shows?
New. It's like a new detective.
I don't really.
Kojak would be Johnny.
I just didn't think about that for a second about new detective shows.
Has there been one? I mean, they always come up. There's always going to be a doctor show. There's always going to be a lawyer show. And there's always going to be like a firefighter slash ambulance
I mean,
show.
there's a couple.
Always. They always have that.
Like True Detective, that's more of like a series. It's not it's always like there's
But those genres of shows, and there's always going to be shows about a rich family and the people around the rich family. It's the same shows. They just do the same things.
Oh, makes sense. Let's get to more positive things. Billy Owens player comps.
Okay.
We teased it yesterday.
Okay. Billy Owens is going to compare Jacob Wilson to somebody. How do you think the fan base will react? I think it's incredibly positive.
I mean, I don't know if there's any higher praise for this guy.
But it's going to make you go, that guy?
Yeah.
You're going to love this. Billy Owens, the master of the comp, assistant general manager, director of player personnel. Billy O, next, right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
It's summertime, and I can guarantee you probably need to redo your wardrobe. You want to look good, and you want to feel comfortable. This is Chris Townsend, and you got to go check out my friends at Link Soul. They've got all the finest fabrics. You're going to love the shirts, the polos, the shorts, you name it. Redo your look for summertime. Go to linksoul.com right now, and you can get an offer for 20% off. Remember, in the big leagues, to play good, you got to look good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Streaming from the studio, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Joining us here on A's Cast Live, Assistant General Manager and Director of Player Personnel, the great Billy Owens, of course, a Bay Area guy, just not an A's guy. Grew up in the Bay Area, played his high school ball at Bellarmine Prep. Billy O, always great to have you back on the program.
Hey, Towny, what's going on, man? Always great to be on the show.
Well, it's certain times of the year are tough to get you guys in the front office because you're so busy. I mean, leading up to the All-Star break, you know, back in the day, it was like June was the draft. Now it's during the All-Star break. Like, your calendar is completely changed.
Yeah, the calendar's changed. I think every team's different. I mean, in my gig, I pretty much – you're seeing a lot of things that happen before they happen on television. So whether it's the draft – seeing the college or high school kids preceding the draft, you know, seeing the minor leagues guys come up through the system and evaluating those guys, also giving them some knowledge, internationally diving into that market as well. So there's always something going on. And you know what's going on every pitch at the major league level, but a lot of times you're not in attendance at your own game.
You know, it's so interesting that you say that. You know, I'm doing all the stuff that you see before they get on TV, and I'm looking at Lawrence Butler's last 19 games where he's hit .415, 15 extra base hits, 8 of those are home runs, 24 RBIs. He's hitting .571 in his last 7 games in the 7-game hit streak. We've always known Lawrence as a special guy, and I talk about all the time on the postgame show. We drafted him. We raised him. He's come up through the system. All the coaches have touched his career. He loves all the coaches. He loves being an A. Just talk about someone like a Lawrence Butler and what it means to you guys. You know, before he was ever on TV, you knew this kid was going to be something special.
Yeah, for one, I mean, Lawrence, going back to, it was a great organization story, talented kid, worked his way up, touched every level. Going back 2 years ago, they have the Darnell Stinson Award for the Arizona Fall League. It's a sportsmanship award. So not only did Lawrence have a great season that year in the Arizona Fall League, but that award really highlights, you know, guys doing stuff in the community, you know, just grasping the community relations. But as a player, he's electric. I mean, he's I think if you go back to Cliff Floyd, a right-handed thrower, left-handed hitting outfielder with power to all fields, good eye at the plate. I think Cliff had 250, 300 major league home runs, and Cliff was a first-round pick, where Lawrence has that physical ability, and he just really – I remember seeing Lawrence in short season in Vermont. He was hitting 190, but, you know, first guy to the field, worked really hard. And he during the shutdown year 2020 – he was able to, get a lot of work in. Michael Harris, the Braves center fielder, is one of his best friends, and they put that time in. So when Lawrence came back in 2021, I mean, you just saw the talent. It just started to emerge. He really crushed the California League that year, went to high A, did well, put himself on the map, and just his ascension through the organization, got his feet wet in the major leagues last year. And like anything else, the major leagues, man, if they don't get you the first time, they're going to get you the second time. And so they got him. He adjusted, and now he called their bluff. And now we're seeing, he's player of the week at some point in July, and he's probably in contention for player of the month in the major leagues in July right now. Yeah, Lawrence is a great story. And just from a physical standpoint, Clifford Floyd comes to mind.
Yeah, now old Cliffy doing a great job. We've had him on this show on MLB Network. It's exciting times to have you on. I think about Jacob Wilson. We've watched this guy, and I got to call a few games down at spring training, and we're seeing him up there, and I'm watching him like he just doesn't look like a kid out of college. I mean, playing the Dodgers over at Camelback, he had a couple hits. I mean, he fit right in. And then obviously we have David Forst on all the time, and it's like, hey, you keep hitting 400, you're going to get here. Jacob Wilson, talk about Jacob Wilson, and also for this draft class to see Jacob Wilson already in the big leagues. What does that mean for this draft class? What does it say to them?
Yeah, I mean, for one, Nick Kurtz is a real tremendous hitter. If we were picking one in the draft, he would have been in consideration for the first pick as well. I mean, just got that plate discipline. The power is elite. Great defender. Tommy White. I mean, we're looking at, honestly, that if you go by our first two picks, that I'm pretty confident we probably have two of the top 5 hitters in the whole draft, to be honest, by getting Nick Kurtz and Tommy Tanks. Back to Jacob Wilson. I mean, going back to, it's funny, where Jacob is Jack Wilson, his father, played in the major leagues at shortstop for 12 years. But I go back to my scouting report, watching Jacob play, it was almost like he followed his father's footsteps and his dad taught him well. But when you watch him at the plate, he looks like Derek Jeter, honestly. I mean, just the way his technique, it reminds me of the captain. I played in the South Atlantic League, 1993. Derek Jeter, I believe, hit 290. I think I out hit him that year, honestly. But
he was just a skinny high school kid.
Yeah, but he had he's close to 300, but Jacob skinny too, you know what I mean? And he hits the ball to all fields. He's relentless. He doesn't strike out. The power is going to emerge later on. And just my visual of just refusing to strike out, using the diamond, kind of the lithe, tall body, honestly, I mean, not to say he's going to have that kind of career, and you got to have great teams like that in New York City and become the captain and all that stuff. But both guys were raised well, and both guys have a unique ability to hit the ball to all fields. Jacob's going to be a special player.
And does it say a lot for the A's when you bring up your young guys? Like all of a sudden, we're going to talk about Max Schumann too, a 20th round pick out of Eastern Michigan. Does it say a lot to the guys in the system and the new guys going in the draft going, hey, look, hey, you play well, you play hard, you'll get moved up even to the big leagues pretty quick here with the A's?
Yeah, honestly, I think that going over time, we're the land of opportunity. I mean, not only as far as the drafted players, but Brent Rooker was the SEC Player of the Year. Him and Rafael Palmeiro, only two of the only SEC Triple Crown guys ever. What a remarkable conference. Todd Helton is going to the Hall of Fame a couple days ago, but JJ Bleday, another SEC Player of the Year, got his opportunity for us this year. I think he's hitting 370 in the last 10 games or so, playing really good center field, smooth swing. He's a player. Shea Langoliers, top 10 overall pick out of Baylor, getting his opportunity. Second year with us, he has 19 home runs just after the All-Star break. So, yeah, we're the land of opportunity. I mean, so, yeah, maybe you're not going to play here 8, 10, 15 years and yada, yada. But, the Matt Olsons of the world got their start here, and they were able to, get a $150 million contract, hit 54 home runs, and do a pretty damn good job for us as well for 5 years in the major league level. So, we're going to raise talent. We're going to produce it. And guys get their opportunity at a young age in the big leagues for the A's.
I think about a lot of the names you just mentioned there. Another one, Tyler Soderstrom, who's on the IL right now. But finally, we've seen that talent. We have seen what you guys talked about. Obviously, we've had his dad, Steve, on here. You and I got to play against his dad back in the day, who was a first-round pick for the Giants. Grew up in the Central Valley, kind of a prodigy kid. It's really kind of come together. We've seen that power to all fields. Just what are your expectations for him as he just gets older, bigger, stronger, and better?
Yeah, Tyler's 22. I played with Steve in the Arizona Fall League actually too. Tyler, you saw the plate discipline. He's a kid that was so talented in the minor leagues that he was never at a level very long. His flaws were kind of masked because he was so talented that his plate discipline was never an issue until he got to the major leagues, the toughest level. So all of a sudden he's swinging at everything. Doesn't have enough patience last year. It's hard to produce in the big leagues at 21 with 1,000 minor league at bats. He went back to AAA to start the year. He tightened up his walk to strikeout ratio, and he came back to the big leagues and you saw a glimpse of what he can do. So I think he's hitting 220, 230. He's got 7 or 8 home runs already, but he definitely has another click. I fully expect Tyler to be a big time run producer at the major league level. In a good year, I mean, when he's 25 and has his seasoning, he can hit 270 and be a 35, 40 home run, middle of the order bomber, 100%.
Yeah, that's interesting how you talk about he's so talented, he masks his deficiencies because he is so talented as a young player. It shows you how good he can be. Speaking of some guys coming up, I got to tell you a guy that I love, another Bay Area kid, my guy Henry Bolte. The first time I laid eyes on him after the A's drafted him in the second round, he came over to this show. We do this show right by the dugout, and he came walking up, and I'm like, wow, he's got the physique, a high school kid with the physique of a strong safety in the NFL and a face of a 12-year-old boy. It was unbelievable how young he looked, but yet he's just gotten bigger. Henry Bolte is doing it all right now for you in Double-A. What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, Henry's a monster. I mean, Pally High, Jock Peterson. Can't think of the Raiders receiver right now. Play with Aaron Rodgers over there, but Pally High is definitely
Adams.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. So
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, there you go. Jim Harbaugh as well. But Henry Bolte, from physically, kind of reminds me of when Mitch Haniger, another Bay Area product, Mitty High School, when Mitch is playing really well, that 6'3" body that plays some center field in the major leagues, has plate discipline, big power to all fields, got that youthful enthusiasm. And honestly, I mean, Henry Bolte's a specimen. For him to be, he basically hit 290 at high A ball Lansing, getting his feet wet. He got like 40 at bats in Double-A right now. But, he's a kid that you tell him something one time, he learns it, he adapts it, and you don't have to tell him again. So you put that along with the, being 220 strapping pounds at 6'3" with huge power at all fields. Yeah, he's definitely a player.
You can't teach that.
And he can't teach for him to be able to adapt that well, to learn. So, I mean, the physical prowess is, he walks around, Lawrence Butler, he walks in the room. These guys are physically imposing. Zach Geloff, people don't realize Zach still got 13 home runs right now. He's, like I said, the major leagues, it didn't get him the first time, so it got him the second time, so he's working through it, but he still has 13 homers, still has double-digit steals. He's got 9 doubles. Zach, I fully expect Zach to be a superstar still at the major league level. I'm thinking about Miguel Andujar. The A's are land of opportunity, and Miguel Andujar hit 297 with like 47 doubles in the Big Apple 2018. and he wasn't great at third base, so he kind of went in an elevator up and down. But he adapted to left field, and he's hitting 3 bills right now. He's a hell of a hitter, and he's been a hell of a hitter his whole pro career. So, yeah, we're the land of opportunity, and it's great to see these guys shine.
A guy that we both grew up watching and everybody loved with the A's was Jose Canseco, and we just honored him this past weekend, and we had him on the show. And one of the things Jose talked about was, hey, back in the late 80s when the A's got off the bus, everybody knew, wow, these are some big dudes. Kind of seeing that again. When you mentioned Lawrence Butler, you mentioned Henry Bolte, Zach Geloff, I mean, you thought he was going to be a third baseman. He's playing second base. Zach Geloff is a big kid. I mean, we got a lot of size and athleticism. It's good to see. Before we let you go, I know Colby Thomas, any guys like in AAA you're really high on right now that we could see here in a little bit?
Yeah, I'm always better when you just ask a name. But, Colby Thomas, I think he leads the minor leagues in extra base hits right now. He's really having really good at bats. I mean, his bat speed's electric. I mean, he's got like 15 homers, AA, AAA. It's only his second full season. He said he's leading the minor leagues in extra base hits. He's a plus runner. His effort is off the charts. He's definitely coming strong. And honestly, he's aggressive, and you thought he had to curtail his aggressiveness, but his strikeouts in AA went down. He's having really good at-bats at AAA. His walk-to-strikeout percentage is pretty good, especially for a guy in his second full season, because AAA is kind of like – it's like AA pitchers have stuff. AAA, they can pitch to the scouting report. It's like a chess game. The big leagues, they have both. And so for a young player to – second full season to have that kind of power, but to start improving his swing decisions at the AAA level, it is pretty remarkable, and it kind of speaks to that this guy's going to be a player. So, I mean, I can see Colby Thomas, once he gets his seasoning and, whether the big leagues gets him the first time or second time, he can be a 250, 25 home run producer, steal some bases, and plays big-time defense. And in some years, he might eclipse that, to be honest. I mean, this guy, the power's real. I mean, he fits right in with the Langoliers, the Rookers, the Lawrence Butlers, the Zach Geloffs. He's got that kind of power. And those guys all, have a chance to have 30 home run seasons. And, in the minor leagues, it's you're seeing it. I mean, these guys are between Rooker and Blade and Law Dog and Langoliers. I mean, our offense is exciting. Throw in what Joey Estes is doing on the mound. Obviously, Mason Miller went on DL today, but, Mason Miller is funny. You go back to, I remember seeing him at Gardner Webb. I've watched Gardner Webb at Presbyterian.
Who?
Yeah, Gardner Webb at Mason Miller's, they sent me in to see Mason in college, and Matt Higginson, actually one of our scouts in the Northeast, went to Gardner Webb, and I think that his affiliation got Mason down there. But anyways, so I'm sitting there with Mason's agent. Mason's throwing 100 miles an hour in college for 7 innings. He's got a really good breaking ball, good changeup. He's starting that day. And I look at his agent, I say, you put a Power 5 school on this guy. This guy's a top 10 pick of the draft. It's going to be an opportunity here, but this guy's a sensation. So when you talk about like this kid like that in the minor leagues, it's almost like you're crying wolf, but 2 outings in the big leagues, people understand what you're talking about. So we have guys like that in the show. Yes, Lawrence Butler maybe wasn't a top 20 overall prospect, but he's about to be player of the month in the major leagues, and he's exciting.
Billy O, it's always an honor to have you on the program. Be well with all your travels. As they say, no one has more Marriott points than you, my friend. We always appreciate it. Let's do this again in a couple months and kind of check in, just see how everybody's doing.
Sounds good, Towny. And say hello to my high school buddy up there, Bellarmine, Pat Krimma as well, too, man.
Oh, my God. You know what? It's amazing, whether it's Mark Podesta, it's Pat Krimma. I'm around all your old Bellarmine guys. I can't shake these guys.
Yeah, no, hey, man. keep it in the Bay right there. The Bay, Sacramento, Vegas. We're playing baseball, enjoying this great opportunity, and go A's.
Safe travels. We'll see you soon.
Take care, Towny.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot-tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the games. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. They have a new spring menu with special dishes and a full bar with new delicious spring cocktails. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest team highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Now back to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
How good is Billy O?
Clifford Floyd or Derek Jeter?
Derek Jeter. How did you guys feel about that? This is when I really could. This is when I'd like to throw out 833-625-2278. We're going to cut this clip up. I'm going to use it in the fifth inning of the broadcast today. Vince and Johnny have the action coming to you live from the Big A in Anaheim. By the way, source. You want a source?
I mean, I always like to hear juicy, I guess not gossip, but juicy news.
I have a source that tells me that it is official that the Angels people believe that once the A's stadium situation, basically once this season ends, I don't even want to talk about the text out of Vegas today that claims everything's going to be on schedule because people don't want to hear that. But it is. That once the A's go to Sacramento and once they put shovels in the ground in Vegas, the spotlight, because they supposedly the city council in St. Petersburg, Florida, voted on the proposal down there for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Was it binding?
Voted on it, passed it. They took a vote. That all the spotlight is going to go on the Rally Monkey. And the Angels know it. Because a lot of people don't know that the mayor, the scandal, the FBI, there's been a total scandal in Orange County with the new ballpark process for the Angels. Nobody knows about it really, unless you're reading the Orange County Register or the LA Times and you're into it. Baseball, no one talks about it. Everybody talks about us. Everybody talks about the Rays. Well, once that starts to play itself out, all the spotlight is going to go on the Angels, and everybody's going to be going, oh, my God, this has been going on? And the Angels people know it. And there was a conversation that's been had at the Big A that Angels people said, yeah, everybody's so focused on you guys, meaning the A's, that they haven't been paying attention. And it's a big problem down in Anaheim. Nobody's talking about it. Randy Arozarena, by the way, as we speak, is still at the ballpark. You have, 48 hours to report?
Yeah.
After a trade, or is it 3 days? Is it 3 days or is it 2 days? Whatever it is. Randy Arozarena is hanging out with his own family in the stands with Rays fans. How cool is that?
I was just going to, we don't do this very often, but I'm going to do it now. We can share the screen, and there you go. There's Randy Arozarena hanging out at the game, sitting there with his kids, his wife, friends, family, just hanging out. Rays are playing. Who are they playing? They're playing the Reds. That vaunted Rays-Reds match. The Battle of Josh Hamilton.
If I was ever to get traded, I wanted to do it when I'm playing against the Reds.
Thank you to John Boy.
Remember,
Media.
everybody loved the Reds. We're at the winter meetings. People love the Reds. That's a sneaky team. I will say this. Elly De La Cruz is doing something that...
How many steals is he up to now?
He's on pace for over 80. We're talking 80 bags. What is the 80-80-80 club he could join?
What's that? 80 steals, 80 runs, and 80...
The Reds haven't had someone steal 80 bags since...
Eric the Red?
Eric the Red. Eric Davis stole 80 bags.
He's at 51 steals right now.
So 80 runs, 80 steals, and there was, what's the other? It's 80. Put in 80. Put his name and then 80. We should enjoy this. And then you don't pay for it long term because it's not going to last. But what he is doing is incredible. And when you're a young man, you can run this much and you can slide this much and can do all this. As you get older.
80 extra base hits.
80 extra base hits. The 80 club. No one's ever done that before.
He's 18 homers.
He's amazing. He's a freak. He's amazing. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the highlights. And this is when you really have to. I think sometimes we don't enjoy it in the moment. And then we just start to expect it from some. Like if somebody has a great year like this, you just sit back and go, wow, you may never see this again.
Yeah.
And maybe he does it again for a couple of years, but this is not something you do as you get older. You enjoy when a young man, he's what, 23, 22? 23?
I think he's 20. He's 22.
He's 22. He may do this a couple times, I don't know. But he won't do it forever. So enjoy something like Elly De La Cruz is magic on the baseball field. He's incredible. He is incredible. 80 extra base hits, 80 runs scored, 80 stolen bases. He could generate his own. As Bonds created the only 400, which was 400 home runs, 400 stolen bases. And then he created another level, his own 500, right? 500 home runs, 500 stolen bases.
Well, the only thing with Elly right now is he has 70 runs, so he needs 10. He has 51 steals, so he needs another 29.
He's got more steals than we do as a team.
But then he only has 46 extra base hits, so he needs to get 39 more. No. So 46, so he needs to get another
in that bandbox?
Yeah, it's doable.
It's doable. It's totally doable. Hey, do we got to get to Mark Kotsay?
We do, yes.
It is time for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast Live. For the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check out their location in the Bay Area, or you go online to nestbedding.com for your mattress, your pillows, your sheets, all your bedding needs. Nest Bedding and nestbedding.com. Mark Kotsay, how are you in Anaheim?
I'm doing well. How are you, Towny?
I am, dude. I'm having, you know what? This July's been great. I'm having a great time in July. How about you?
A trip to Hawaii would definitely make July great.
Get that and your ball club's winning. Hawaii was pretty good, though.
Yeah.
How you feeling? I mean, you guys are playing great.
Yeah, we definitely offensively have turned things around. The group, I think, is firing on all cylinders. Lawrence Butler leading the charge. Really, he's been one of the best hitters all of July, and really happy for him the success he's having, but also for the offense. We've made a lot of strides over the last 30 plus days.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what are you feeding Lawrence Butler? Because I want some of it. Because whatever he's doing, I want to be doing it.
Yeah, for Lawrence, I think he's just starting to finally understand that he just needs to touch the baseball. And, the two things he's worked on since we talked to him in Arizona are just keeping his head still and just taking the barrel to the ball. And, he's always had that ability in terms of like the power. He's big, strong, physical. And, we're seeing the results of that right now.
Yeah, you see him going the other way, using foul pole to foul pole. And what is it about the leadoff position? I mean, when you start a game, there's a guy that leads off. After that, everything always completely changed every single inning. But there is a mindset about it. Some guys like it. Some guys don't. He's thriving in it.
Yeah, he really is. But I don't see much change from him. Even, the at-bats have been before the success, there was some pitch selection. He had, some walks. That just wasn't getting the results of the at-bats like he is now. And but yet there was a lot of wasted at-bats, prior to this run that he's been on and the adjustments he's made. So he's really embraced it. Last night's game against the Angels, he led off against a left-handed pitcher and hit a double down the line, stole third, and basically single-handedly, it was Lawrence Butler 1 and the Angels nothing.
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun to watch. And for you as a manager, we talk so much, late May and in June, now the team wasn't scoring runs and how you manage the game that way. Just talk about the difference in managing the game when your team is scoring a lot of runs.
No, it's been fun. We've been able to play more offense. We've been able to be a little more aggressive. We as a team, I think, have taken advantage of this run in terms of, on the bases. We've stolen more bases. Obviously, we're playing offense a lot more, and we have guys on base. So we're creating some innings. We're adding on to some leads. Last night was a great game. We came back from being down, which we haven't, had that opportunity much this season. And so it's definitely been fun to watch.
Brent Rooker has turned into a complete hitter. Last year, he hit home runs. He had a hot start, got kind of hot at the end, but in between wasn't all so hot. Now it's a lot of home runs, but he's a complete hitter. He's getting a lot of hits. He goes the other way. Just talk about the difference of what you've seen last year to now, to where now offensively he's the full package.
No, he really is. You described it really well. He definitely, has worked really hard on that two-strike approach, cutting down the strikeouts, using the other side of the field. We've seen that a few times lately where he'll get to 2 strikes and just hit a line drive to right field. And, he's doing a great job of game planning, knowing what he wants to do in the at-bat, looking for pitches and sometimes sitting on pitches. And, last night in that first inning, I think he was sitting on that changeup. And, he crushed it. So he's really, really just been remarkable and just a huge impact for us.
I know we were all bummed he didn't make the All-Star game. I see you have the All-Star sweatshirt on. By the way, how was it? Let's talk about you for a minute. How was the whole experience? I know Bruce Bochy not only is a very dear friend, he's a mentor. You've known him for a long time. You played for him. What was the whole experience like for you?
No, it was unbelievable. Until you experience it, you have no idea, what really you're going to take away from being around, obviously the best in the game. And for me, I was most excited about just being around Boch. And when I got there, I quickly realized, wow, there's some talent in this room. Like, these are the best players. And it was fun to watch them interact in the locker room. It was also fun to be a part of Boch's staff. The Rangers coaching staff worked the game. And it was great to meet some of those guys. I knew some of them. Timmy Hires, our hitting coach, Will Venable. I got to finally really spend some time with Mike Maddox, who's awesome, and just get to know his staff. And they embraced me. It was really nice, really kind of them to take me in. But the whole experience was well worth it. And I'm thankful that I got that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's a real chance to kind of get to know these guys that you compete against. You're managing against all these players. It's the American League. You're now in the clubhouse with them. It's one thing when they're, guys that you would know that you played against. These are all younger kids to you. What was that like, kind of getting to know a little intel on the enemy, getting behind enemy lines on some of these guys?
Yeah, it was fun. They're young, as you talk about, Adley Rutschman and, Santander and, Duran. Duran was great because he's from Long Beach State. He went to Long Beach State. So there was already when I mentioned I went to the better half of that school, or the better school in the state, the better state school, he quickly said, "Oh, you didn't go to Fullerton, did you?" Right? Like, he had no idea that I went to Fullerton. And so, yeah, I had to drop on him, we're the school with the national championships and you're not, so, and then he wins the MVP. Right. But yeah, Judge was awesome to be that type of superstar. We sat at the home run derby. He was on the couch watching the derby. At one point, he was all alone, just by himself, like so engaged in the derby. And it was great. We had some conversation. He said hello to my kids, talked about the 17 home run derby that he was in. you're just like, I wish I could do it, but it just takes so much out of you.
Well, yeah, great experience. Your first All-Star game. Hard to believe. First time in all these years. That's really good. And for Bochy, when it was all said and done, it's kind of 4 World Series titles. He's had an amazing career. As I remember growing up as a kid in San Diego, he was the backup catcher to Terry Kennedy, and he only played on Sundays. To think of where Bochy was at that point to where he is now, had to be pretty special for you guys. That I'm not saying this is the end, but this is kind of like putting the bow on an incredible career.
Yeah, I think he actually made a comment that this was the most enjoyable All-Star game he'd been a part of. And as a coaching staff, you could tell we did everything to take as much away from him, the distractions, and just allow him to just really enjoy it. And he did. That's what he said at the end of the night. We took care of like guys being told when they're going in the game and who won how many at bats, and making sure we took care of the All-Stars, and he was one of them that night, obviously.
Yeah, so cool. Got to ask you about Mason Miller. Obviously, that it was great to have him at the All-Star game, but also unfortunate with what's happened with his pinky. I know you came out yesterday and talked about how, hey, this is what really happened. Why did you feel you need to come out and clarify things about Mason Miller?
I don't like misleading statements and things that aren't the truth, really. So I knew there was some commentary or some statements that might have been put out there. I talked to Mason. Mason was well aware of how we handle things and how we are straightforward and truthful, honest about whatever the situation is, so that we don't have to backtrack. We don't have to think about what we said, and that's just the way that I felt it needed to be stated when I talked to the media.
It's so important that you just said that, and it just shows in our organization how important is that, because I've talked to David Forst about that before, because there's some GMs that like to float stuff out and do different things, and he goes, no, I never lie, because then I never have to be worried about being caught in a lie. It's like honesty no matter what, with the people in the front office, with you and your staff. It's just and it's almost like, would you say this was like a teachable moment now and for everybody going forward?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was a teachable moment, but it's one. It's a moment that I think, as we're sitting here talking about it now, of importance, right? Like it is of importance, and at the end of the day, Mason will be better for it. And I think anytime I talk about injury-related issues, I try to be in detail with them, or I'll actually, if it's a pregame interview, I'll defer to the trainer with, the proper medical term. Like, I want to make sure we get it right, and so that's always what we've been about, and that's what I'm about.
Yeah, that's always who you've been about. I mean, everybody knows it's no BS when you're dealing with Mark Kotsay. We've had a lot of firsts this year. Yesterday, and I know this is going to play throughout the week, but yesterday, Tyler Ferguson, you think about his story. You think about how long he's been grinding in the minor leagues. And I remember when he got called up and what that meant. And he talked about, tears, calling people. And it's just last night. He only had 16 career saves in the minor leagues. And last night he gets his first career save. How cool was that? That
was a great moment. The game, really aligned for him to be in that moment. Lucas Ursig, who has 2 of our saves this season, pitched probably the higher leverage in terms of, the 8th inning, the lineup, 2, 3, 4. But to go out and as we talk about it, it does take a mindset to get the last 3 outs of the game. And this kid has, like, you want to reward them, and also know that he's been in those moments before, even though it's a AAA game. He's walked off that mound and felt that emotion of success. So it was great. We celebrated him, and we look forward to some more opportunities.
Great stuff. Have a good rest of the weekend and the week. We'll talk to you next week back here at home.
Thanks, Towny.
The Mark Kotsay Show brought to you by nestbedding.com. Cots, little nest bedding. You got to, I mean, life is just so much better. Let's be honest. It's getting to be fun. And you're starting to watch what looks like, could be wrong, but it looks like we are watching the start of the next run. You're starting to look at it, and it's what we saw at spring training, and we saw like, okay, they went 17-17. You know, what we saw was real, and then now there was a collapse after that, but now what we're seeing in July, just a hot month, so I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but this is what you're starting to see when we saw the talent. When you look at it all, right? When you look at Langoliers, the power, the ability to throw the baseball, McCann behind him, we look what you got at catcher. You know, up the middle, you're probably looking at Jacob Wilson and Zach Geloff. You know, everybody talks about solid teams are built from the middle out. Center field, you're looking at J.J. Bleday. So you got your catching, you got your middle infielders, you got your center fielders. Now where's the power going to come from? Well, Lawrence Butler is looking like, for God's sakes, he's looking like can be great. Not fair to judge him just on this and have those kind of expectations, but he believes he can be great. At least be a legit. I mean, we're talking about, can you be a legit starting? We're not platooning. We're not playing splits. You're a legit major league outfielder. Can Lawrence Butler be that? I believe so. Can J.J. Bleday be that? No doubt. Left field, Andujar, you know he can hit. Now, is he going to be a great outfielder? I don't know. But I'll sack it. Left field defense is not, I'm not going to worry about left field defense. If you're going into next year, knock on wood, trading deadline, please come and go. If you're looking at next year at Andujar, Bleday, and Butler in your outfield and Rooker as a DH, let's go. And then you're telling me the infield is Jacob Wilson, Zach Geloff, Max Schumann playing a lot. Where that is will probably be able to play shortstop, second, outfield. Schumann will be like the ultimate utility guy that can play anywhere for you. That's so valuable now. Soderstrom growing up, as Billy Owens just said, Soderstrom to him is, I mean, he's 22 years old. Wait till he's like 24, 25. You're talking about a 40 home run guy. Now the question is just third base. And that could be Toro. Or figure it out.
Tommy Tanks.
Can we not put all the pressure on Tommy Tanks yet? I love Tommy Tanks.
He's the 8th best prospect in our system, according to Baseball America.
Ass. That kid's got swag. I want him now. Tommy Tanks, that kid's got swagger. Can you imagine if he ends up being great?
It'll be great for us.
They're going to be making action figures after that kid. I want the full hop back. I want the full Tommy Tanks experience. How about, and Hogan Harris could be one of your best pit. Oh, he got sent to AAA.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason. We don't know yet. We just don't know. But there's a lot of excitement around the A's. Is this a start of the run? I sure hope so. Because this is how it always goes. Win for a few years, make a playoff run, and then we got to go?
Yeah.
I'm talking A's. When am I on?
Like less than 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you for watching. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Tuesday, A's Cast Live. We'll be taking on the Giants. 4 o'clock we'll be on.
Yep.
All right. Tuesday, 4 o'clock, A's Cast Live. Coming up next, it's the A's. It's the Halo. Game 2. The Halos. Game 2 of the 4-game set between the A's and the Angels next, right here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.